This entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gab-fed show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have the code over the machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you never stood for. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
March. I know. I don't know where the time flew. I mean, I got to do like one or two shows in a way. They flew me down to Florida. What a whirlwind trip. But I'm so happy to be back here on the 24th of March. I lost the Ides of March. We went through St. Patrick's Day. It's like everything happened so fast. Where's our time going? Where's our world going? It is like before you know it, in the blink of an eye, things change. It's changed good or it's changed bad. It depends on how we look at it, right? Depends on what's in our egos and our judgments, right? Are we communicating through the change? Are we having to forcibly go through the change? Is somebody playing tricks on us? I mean, these are all types of things that go through our mind. What in the world is happening? Why is this happening? Who brought this on, right? I'm laughing now, but I was not laughing. I was with everybody else going through this energy, and it was a good 6 weeks of energy. If you think about it, sit back, think about the last 6-7 weeks, right? And the last time I spoke, we were talking about, be careful. These energies are going to start coming through, right? These planets, when they start to align, they're going to pull on our electromagnetics, right? And they're going to pull on those emotion strings, and they're going to pull on these energetic balances. And you're like, oh, MJ, that's fooey. I want to read something. And then you tell me if it's fooey or not, because we have to remember that all of our elements plays an important balance for us. And I'm not just talking air, water, fire, or I'm not just talking those. No. I am not. I am talking about other things, emotions. Good morning, Ozzy. Welcome back. Listen and absorb. So we have to learn, in order for us not to go through some of these traumatic issues that we're going through, we have to learn to step back, right? How many times do I say, let's just step back and process this. Let's just step back and see where this takes us. Let's just step back. So we're constantly stepping back in the process. Well, sometimes in our communications, we don't have to step back. But it's our words and our tones in controlling our anger. If you listen to my show, one of the ways I do that is I smile because it tricks the ego. But I understand it also gives other people the realm to think I'm being sarcastic or I'm smirking or I'm whatever. But that's on them. That's on them. I don't tell them that their foul language or their hurtful actions or their hurtful words to others, that was not nice. So I don't tell them that. I do say things like, I understand where our relationships are at the moment. I understand that there are some things that I have said that literally my own words came back to me, right? My own words. And maybe you're the only person I said that to. And they were my words. So do I take the cowardly way out and say I didn't say it? Or do I stand up for my boundaries of why I said what I said? Now I know who I am. And I process things until the words can come out, either the truth of how I see it, saw it, and played it, or is it going to be one of these things where I step back and I go, oh no, I think that was a misinterpretation. I never said that. And then the person who you said it to will sit there and lie. I never said that. That's a lie. That's a lie. Well, if it's out of my mouth, exactly out of my mouth, it's not a lie, right? It's the truth. And it's the truth that had to hit, whether they were the catalyst or whether they were the pawn, right? We all play chess. Was it worked out to be vicious and spiteful? No, it wasn't. It was calling facts the way you see facts. So this energy started when the planets started to pull alignment. And you're going to say, oh, MJ. And I'm going to say, oh, no. It's the truth. It's the truth. And this is why it's the truth. It's the truth because the energy that's happened right here on March 14th, I'm going to read it. The total lunar eclipse, also known as the blood moon, occurred in Virgo, making a time for potential transformation, release, and introspection, urging individuals to reevaluate their priorities and let go of what no longer serves a purpose. Okay. Let's go down now to total lunar eclipse. Total lunar eclipse is considered more powerful than a full moon. Often brings about endings to a lot of things. Business, homes, people, deaths, right? But it also brings the new beginnings. So you have to go through this transformation. And I'll guarantee if any of you step back for the last 6 or 7 weeks with this energy, you will be like, holy eggs, Batman, right? What in the world just happened here? Well, what in the world just happened is the veils dropped. We got to see who was behind the curtain, right? We got to see that. We got to see who that real guy, what do they say? Pay no attention to the man behind that curtain. This is the time of the life, this massive, massive eclipse with all 7 planets aligned. Everything's changing. The world at large is going to change, whether you like it or not, whether you like your commander-in-chief, whether you like your boss, whether you like your friend or your acquaintance, whether you just got the curtain just dropped so that everything comes to fruition. So on this eclipse, you asked to ready it up. You asked to bring in whoever it is to unblock what it is that you want to see. But be very careful. You may not really like what you see. It might hurt you in ways, especially people. People tend to play at your heartstrings, and people will play an emotional part of those heartstrings. Imagine helping people and just wanting to be there to be service of others, right? Because that's what the healers. If you're a true healer, you are service to others, no matter what. And imagine when you try to be service to others and you have no negative intentions, just love and light. But yeah, then these people talk about you. They hurt you in ways that you can't, or they take from you. Time. They take time from you. Right? The narcissistic ways of making you feel bad and making others believe that they are this happy-go-lucky person until one too many people see it. Have you been in that energetic pattern? Have you been in the energetic pattern to change your job? All of a sudden, you become aware that things at your job is what's making you feel down and depressed, right? And the light bulb now comes on. And where's that light bulb? You're like, oh my goodness, I just saw the light. I need to change this job. Clarity, right? There's always a reason for every season that we go through. And that season for a lot of us is right now with this energy. This energy is explosive. It is going to call out a lot of people. It's going to call out a lot of things. These things that we suppressed, bam, hello, we're here. You're like, oh my God, where are you going? You push them right back down, right? Oh, we're like, no, right? And then all of a sudden our throat starts to get the swallowing going, and then the eyes start to tear. Go back down, right? No, it needs to come up. Let it up. My dad's old expression, right? That thing on top of our shoulders, right? Cut it off and see how you can live life. Right? Sometimes we get into our head so much that we miss the heart. We miss the heart of balance. We miss the heart of unity. We miss the heart of love and order. We miss the heart of faith and will and zeal and understanding and strength and life, power, elimination. Yep. If you're wondering, I just named the 12 mind power centers. And when those 12 mind power centers are so full of just light and love, and they're energetically spinning, our physical mind power centers, our decisions and our paths are so clear. But how do we do that, right? Ask ourselves, MJ, how do we do that? Well, it takes a lot of emotional work. It does. It takes a lot of letting go, so that when this thing starts coming up and you're right here and you're like, oh my God, I thought I pushed you away forever, and now you're pushing it right back down. And you're like, oh, that was close. That was a close one, right? We got to put that right back in the foxhole, right? Because that can't come up. Nope. That has to come up. You need to let that come up, because then we get to balance. We get to love it. We get to heal it. We get to nurture it. And then we get to let it go. And then what an enlightenment feeling. What you just feel so energetically light that you giggle to the point you're almost in tears, because you're like, why was I holding on to this? This is crazy. Yeah. We're all mad around here. We are. We just drink a little, eat a little, then we become mad. Yeah. It's just one of those ways that we like to live. We like to live in harmony. We like to live in laughter. We like to live in the zeal. The zeal and zeal. Zizzly zazzly. But it is to feel happy for others and to feel good for others. It is that which we need to make sure is flying high, so that we're not jealous of others. We're not envious of others. We're not backstabbing others. We're not talking crap about others. We're not gossiping about others. Right? That's why a lot of people have turned off the news, turned off TV. Now they're getting ready to turn off radio and turn off these blogs, because people don't know how to just talk with positive consciousness. They talk and they're gossiping about somebody else's demeanor, somebody else's problems, or they're talking about how they're going to harm somebody else, or viciously attack somebody else, or they're mean, they're on a soapbox to somebody else. Do we really think that this is a good thing as a whole around the earth? Do we really believe that? Do you know there's places in Europe you don't have free speech on internet like you do here? They will come, they will attack you, they will take your things, right? You learn to shut your mouth, not suppress it. You learn to shut it until you can process it so that we can flip it. I'm MJ. This is the world of conscious positive thinking. This is mbradio.us. I need to go to commercial, and we will be right back. I believe my fan favorite, Mr. H Train, is my sound guy, so he'll be. I don't know what's up, Joel, but let's see. What's up.
Signed up to fight for freedom. What a price you had to pay. Picture in her helmet, missing family every day. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane. Some scars we'll never see. She will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend. Standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her. On that old dusty base with the meadows that shine, she's been to hell and back for the stars and the stripes. Your Lady Liberty, dressed like G.I. Jane, and some scars we'll never see, and she will never be the same. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend. Standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her. Yeah, yes. For the ones that didn't make it, we will pause and then we cry. We can still see their smile in every sunrise. She's a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister and a friend. Standing tall in that uniform until the very end. When Uncle Sam called, she signed that line to serve. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her. 'Cause you can't spell hero without her.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Coffee Anderson. Gosh, do we love him here. I think that was probably one of our nicer songs. I really do. I mean, there's some songs that I always have to play, you know that. But that's one of our new ones, and we got to air his debut with that song. And I am so excited to be part of Mr. Coffee Anderson's journey that he's going through and be able to play his music. So go on Spotify, go on Apple Pay, and get out there and get his music, because he's another country singer, I think, through our military eyes who just enlighten us and give us positive and give us hope and hope. Did I just say that? Somebody better correct me. Should somebody better? Yes, Neva, that's right. Throat chakra. Yeah. Exactly, my friend. Exactly. So, yes, we are talking about the throat chakra with communications and with the energetic patterns that are, I'm just call them fuckery afoot. That's what I call them. And they happen. They happen to all of us. And before we realize it, you as an individual, us, you, when I say you, meaning all of us, we have to take that big, deep breath. We have to step back, because what happens to a lot of our man friends out there, and I don't mean man physical, I mean human physical, is they get trapped in this unconsciousness of this realm, and then things heat up and blow up. Think the last 6 or 7 weeks, how many just, what happened to this person? What happened to that person? And this person all of a sudden decided just to walk away. This person decides to yell and you don't even know why they're yelling. Or all of a sudden this person starts talking smack and you're like, how did I deserve that? I don't know. It's time to recheck. It's time to really look and really see what's going on. And good morning, Miss Terry. Terry is Tracer Rounds podcast. She'll also be on the show tonight, Beyond the Headlines with me at 7:00. Thank you. It's good to be back. I got a lot of new material being back. So I have a lot of good material for the next 3 or 4 shows. And the first one that we're doing, just in case anybody comes in late, we're here talking about the change with communicating, because there's a lot of people who just went through devastation. Either they physically, as death somebody has crossed over, right? The death or new beginnings. That's what this energy is. We also have people who are getting married in this energy. It's new beginnings times. And then we also have a lot of people, unfortunately, going through separations or divorces, and that does not even as husband, wife, or wife and wife, or husband and husband. That means your friends too. It's a reality check. And every now and again, we get these reality checks. We're checking in. We're checking in on us. We're checking in on our peoples around us. Where do they play now? Was there a reason for a season? Right? Was there something that is so scarring, and in this lifetime, you can't see it because it came in from a past life. And you're like, wow, where did this go? Holy macaronis. Yeah, it does. It happens. And then we sit and we have to figure it out. Do we leave the hurt in our heart because we know for a fact that's what they said because it came out of our own mouth? They know they said it. They had to have. They had to have said something. But then you question your relationship with that person, right? Because it's that person who you had kept as a loyalty as a friend. But they didn't keep the same loyalty. They didn't. And in that aspect, you want to get angry. You want to get mad. Or you just want to step back. Say, Father, please forgive them, for they have lost their way. Father, please forgive them. They have surely did not understand what they were doing. Father, please forgive them. Father, forgive my part on whatever part I played. Our part's easy. Unless you're very vindictive or you're a narcissist or something. But our part, obviously, when you speak and you speak 2 or more about somebody else, 2 or more people, and you're talking about somebody else, that gives your vibration a low, and it gives the vibration of others that you are talking about low. So if you have a discussion or you have an angerment with somebody, please know that when you start talking about that person, their vibration is just getting lower. That's it. It's getting to a point where they are going to interfere with your life. They are going, because you universally are speaking it. So if energetically you're speaking rubbish and you're speaking of something that needs to be healed, right? Know who you're speaking to. Get one. Don't get more than that. And make sure that one person is a huge trust to you. It's a huge trust. Because if you don't, that so-called friend spews a lot of negativity because they're unhealed. And that hurts. And then time passes and they don't even remember that they must have said something. Or maybe they do remember. Now they have that guilt. It's the guilt that's killing them. It's that guilt inside when they find out that you've balanced, because that's the way you're supposed to do. If you have issues, you're supposed to balance those issues. Yeah, sometimes some of us get into a lot of freaking issues because of this mouth, this voice, this throat chakra. You're opening up your mouth, and now that's your free will. But now guess what? Everybody else has that free will to come back to your mouth. So whatever's coming out of your mouth, you better be prepared for. You better be prepared to communicate. Especially if you're making a huge change, you need to communicate. And you can try to communicate the best that you can. And there's that other flip. You can try as best as you can to communicate and say the words that your heart wants you to say, and honor and love. And sometimes those words, they might cut that person. But if it's the truth, try to find words that aren't so cunning or cutting. Try to find words that are, this X, Y, and Z pattern is no longer fitting within my realm, right? We have to look at these things. We have to be cautious. We have to, what do they say? Something in the wind, something passes. There's a saying and I can't think of it, but it'll come to me. But that's what we want. We really do. We want to be able to communicate the changes that we're making. But if the communications of the change are detrimental, if they get out to everybody, now you have a choice again. Man, so many choices in life. You're either going to tell them what's going on, and now the whole world does because you already know their MO. But they're a major part of the circle. So what do? We do the best with love in our heart and a smile on our face to reinforce that this is a good morning. Hello, Miss. Good morning, Janet Becker. How are you? Good morning. So when that happens, it becomes, hold on one second. I don't know how to get rid of that. Okay. It becomes a very frightening moment. I'm going to say it like that. When you trust people of your circle, because in your circle, you only have friends, acquaintances. And then one of them is like a DNA where you have a break or you have something in the DNA and it can't twirl. You get that disease, right? And that disease starts going through our body. That's kind of what that one infectious person is. It's that one disease within the circle that infects a lot of people by negativity, by saying stuff, the narcissist of the group, right? And it's so funny because they want to proclaim their power. They want to proclaim their ideologies of who they are, what they are, how they feel. And it just isn't there. And again, Father, forgive them, for they have lost their way. Father, forgive them, for they don't know what they have done. Father, forgive me of my part, because there is no imbalance part of any relationship that you do not have a part of. And I'm going to say that again. There is no balance in any relationship that you do not have a part of. It's not a blame game on the other person. It is taking your part, whether your part exists in this lifetime or your part exists in a past life. You have to heal it. And you still have to love them because you asked them in this lifetime to be that catalyst. You asked them in this lifetime to solve the issues of whatever it may have been. Doesn't mean that you have to stay connected to the hip. Doesn't mean that you don't put up your boundaries. It doesn't mean that you might become a little bit more distant. Doesn't mean that. It means that you honor what you have done on your part and what they have done. It's almost like, I forgive you, you forgive me, right? Back to that. But at no point and at nowhere, shape, or form did you hear me say, climb right back in bed with this person to have it all happen again and again and again. That's a pattern. That's an unhealthy pattern. And we don't like patterns. We want to fix things as conscious positive as possible to balance and love them because they are them. And you have to remember that you asked them to be here, right? We're going to have more, but I have to take another break. You're listening to mbradio.us. My name is MJ, and we are here to be the voice for veterans, to try to rehabilitate and to try to heal. We have numerous amounts of shows. Please tap into mbradio.us and check out some of our other DJs that are beautiful to help us rehabilitate. We'll be right back.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
I'm still going. I'm walking to the light. Bum, bum, bum. I don't know who you are out there or who's listening, but that song just giddies up my heart. I love Third Class. I love them, love them, love them. Can't make me not love them. Don't care. I'm allowed my opinion, my free will, and I love them. And I love that song. So I love it. It just gives you that giddy up, right? So we were talking about communications and changes. So we do not evolve and we do not change unless we rip the Band-Aid off. And that's where it hurts, right? That's the problem. That's the hurt. That's the dread. It really is the dread that you're going to have to face something that might be very painful, and not just painful to us. It could be painful for others. And if we are not that person that can assist, it becomes that big breath, right? And with our nose, breathe right into the pain and breathe it out. And if you're still not ready, then you breathe again. And if you're still not ready, you breathe again. This time, try that tapping, tap that thymus. I am love, and I am balance, and I am kind. But this does not work for me. This does not work in my parallel energy. This is not working. And sometimes these people, they don't even realize they're a narcissist. They don't even realize that they go around spreading words. Talk about something else. Don't talk about others. Don't talk about other people's businesses. Don't talk about other people at all. There's a person who she likes to say, keep my name out of your mouth. That really is hard words. But what she's trying to say is, if you don't talk about me, we're not going to have an issue. Right? And why are we talking about anybody anyway? Is it in a discussion for a better known reason? Is there any part of talking about the other person helpful? Are you talking to more people than just a counselor about it? Remember, counselors are supposed to keep their mouth shut. Counselors have a HIPAA law. And they're not to repeat what's in counsel or what was counseled about. Are you sure the person that you're healing or helping, the healers that's helping you heal, doesn't talk? 2 or more people talking negatively brings the vibration of us down, and it brings the vibration of that person down. And that's not nice. So say what you need to say, and know that whatever comes out of your mouth, you're going to be able to say in front of that person, right? Right. These beautiful phones and these computers gives people the courage, right? Oh, you're strong. You have a lot of courage. You're up there in the world. Yay! You're speaking on the forums and you're posting shit and you're reposting shit because you're angry. Yeah, there's something that we call face yourself, Homsakasen. Face yourself. You're only angry because you did it. You're only angry because you said it. You're only angry because your ego wants to make you suffer. That's why you're angry. Now, if somebody comes back and says something directly to you, and you don't like it, it's on you. It's on you. So every time you see that person out there, oh, I didn't say anything. Oh, you know how they talk. Well, it's not me. Before anything even happens, you have to question yourself on that person going, what did you say? What did you do? What mess am I going to face now? Right? Who wants that? I don't want that. I don't want to have to know that every time I have to go back somewhere, I have to face that drama. No. Oh God, no. Why would I do that to myself? So sometimes you have to rip the Band-Aid. It's a Band-Aid. You got to rip it. You can only be nice. You can only smile for so long. And you can only try to put boundaries and borders up. And they're still infiltrating. They're still the accuser. So what do? We flip the pattern. We love them unconditionally. And we get space and time between us. And if we can't, with courage and strength, talk to them, then we write to them. Writing is a lost therapy for a lot of people. Take your physical hand with a physical piece of paper and a physical pencil and start writing. It's going to break up all the emotions that you have. And here's what you do. You take a piece of paper and you take a pencil and you start writing, and you write and you write and you write and you start and you keep writing. Even if you have nothing to say, just keep the pencil writing. Even if it's a line, a scribbly line, you just keep it going, and then the thoughts come in. And as the thoughts come in, and I'm going to tell you, this practice to heal can be very long, but it is a known practice. Why? It allows you to speak on the conscious with free will, and doesn't allow you to gossip, to connect the energies to anybody else. It's between you and this other person. And you write and you write and you write everything that you are very disappointed with, right? I'm not going to say hate, because hate is not a nice vocabulary. And if you hate something, then why are you involved with it to begin with? I'm going to say that again. If you hate something, why are you part of it? Think about how many things that you hate and you do. And then you go, well, I do it because I love her, or I love him, or I love my mom, or I love my dad. But inside, you don't love yourself. Ooh, where did I just touch, MJ? So you're doing things that you hate to do because you are service to others, but you still hate to do them. And that person that you're doing it for, do they realize that you hate to do them? Did you have open communication with them? Did you have the discussion saying, I'm going to do it this time, but please don't ever ask me to do this again. This is something that I just loathe in my life, and I will do anything else. I'll even I'll pay to have somebody else do this, but please don't ask me to do this again. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if that person needs that type of help or that exact help. Or you could have even said, oh, well, I have somebody for that job. I can help you find that person, right? Maybe it's doing clothes. Maybe it's doing the laundry. Maybe it's washing the dishes. I don't know. Maybe it's cleaning the floors, the toilets. Maybe it's hanging clothes. Maybe it's ironing clothes. Maybe it's the lawn. Maybe it's, I don't know, doing the hay fields. I don't know. Whatever the task is, right? Maybe it's bathing the dog, right? Whatever it may be. If you don't like doing it, but somebody that you love or it's in your tribe asking you for help, doesn't mean you physically have to do it. You can always find a way around. Or you can always use this beautiful throat chakra thing and find the worms that say, gosh, I'm going to help you. I personally might not do it myself just because I loathe that, whether you know it or not, but I'm going to find you somebody to do it, right? Or saying, listen, how many of us are this guilty, right? I'm here to help, whatever you need, whatever, just tell me, whatever you need, I'll help you. Oh, is that true or is that not true? Did you just stick your foot in your mouth? Did you? Because you just said anything. And now here I am, the person who needs the help, and I'm asking for anything. And now you're going to have to be the one that says, yeah, I'm sorry, I can't do that. Or no, I'm sorry, I don't like doing that. Or no. So you put yourself, now think about those. There's the flip. You put yourself in there saying, hey, is there something that I might be capable of doing to help you? That's a little bit better, right? Then you can say, well, MJ, you're capable of doing laundry, even though you hate laundry. I know. Okay. Shh, don't tell all my secrets. It's not that I don't like, I'll do the laundry. I just don't like putting it away, right? I'm a great laundry girl. I like to put them in. I like to do all that. I just don't like, I just don't like putting it away for some reason. It just doesn't jingle with my gypsiness, right? So let's go back. The bottom line here with the energies that we're in is making us face some of what people call their demons, or some of their things inside that they have suppressed so far deep that now it's a disturbance. Because just like every seed that goes into roots, comes into a plant or a flower or a tree, it's going to face us. The skeletons are going to face us. You didn't die during whatever act it was that we want to shush down or we want to suppress. So why not release it instead of suffocating it, right? You need to release it. Whatever it is, you didn't die. That's my expression. Did you die? Okay, well, you didn't die, so pick up yourself, brush off those knees, and go again. Is that hard? Is that a hard heart or cold heart? No, it's not. Because Father, Mother, God is all forgiving. And this is now. Now is the time. You can never have an abundance of whatever it is. An abundance of happiness, love, peace, joy, prosperity, calmness. Whatever the abundance that you want, it's not going to come if you keep suffocating and pushing things back down, or being a nasty person to talk about others, or gang up on others. Sometimes if you have a trauma and you talk to the wrong people about the trauma or the event that you went through, it could backfire on you. These words that come out, remember, every word is heard universally. Every thought is universal. And it gets worse because every word in the physical now is not just universal. It's on the physical plane. It's on the spiritual plane. It's on the emotional plane. And it just keeps going up and up and up and up. Now you're in a world of doo-doo, because now your consciousness and your ego wants you to suffer. So now what it's going to do is become angry. And now you're an angry person, right? Now you've become this complete and emphatic, good morning into the weeds. That is Amber and Aurora, her daughter.
She has a new time on her show, MJ. I don't know if you know. She's went from Sunday to Saturday, so she kind of got promoted.
Whoa! Well, congratulations there, Ambers. Congrats, Miss Amber Dietz. That is into the Weeds podcast. That's congratulations. I know I missed a lot of this family and this tribe's things, and I promise I'll get caught up as quick as I can. So that is a promise. But the change. So see, she just did a change. So that was a great new beginning for her to change. That's what we're talking about with this energy. This energy talks about relishing in change. And we always change. It's the people who have a hard time with change is the people who go into a negative consciousness or the unconsciousness or their shadow sides, right? Because they're angry and their ego now is allowing them, and their judgments are now. So now they go down into this rabbit hole. And that was really easy the last 3-4 weeks to go into this rabbit hole. Now there's people who are stuck in it, constantly making memes, constantly making comments, constantly. Why? Because it's getting to them. It is now getting to them. And their consciousness now understands the shit that they just did. And so here this comes. So we're going to flip it after that. Now we're going to be that other person, not the one who got hurt by the words. We're going to be the person who now created those words. We're going to flip that to show you how to get out of that pattern. Again, I have to go on break. My name's MJ, and you're listening to mbradio.us. It is where veterans have a voice. And this particular show is just one of many beautiful shows that are here on MBR Radio. And that is the World of Conscious Positive Thinking. And that is my show. So stay tuned. We're going to take another little quick break, and then we'll be back on the flip pattern of the agitator.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
And that was Die Tired. That is another veteran group who is allowing us here at MBR to play their music, and we just really enjoy. So thank you for allowing us to play such beautiful music right here on MBR, and where we get to get veterans to give them a voice, whether they sing it, talk it, scream it, yell it, however it is, to get it out and to free us, right? Because that's what it's all about, freeing our mind from old belief patterns, from old systematic patterns that no longer work. Hence, we have communication and change, right? So the very first part of the show, we were talking about how others attack us or how others hurt us, or why and how we can flip it, right? And not allow our anger and our rage to come towards us. So what I think now is we have to talk about if we are that agitator. Because let's face it, we say words that hurt. We say things that provoke others. So let's dig into that psyche of our own pattern. So when we start talking, we need to be conscious of what we say, how we say it. And when we're angry, we have to learn to appropriate to one person. And you hope that one person, if you are one of those, right? You have to be ready for whatever you say to be attacked. If you say it, you mean it. If you type it, you mean it, right? That screen is only going to protect you in the moment, right? We all know this. We all know, because there are radical people that we live by, that we live with. And they're going to take something and they are going to expel it to the highest dismal, even though your intention may not have been to do it. It happened, right? And now you have to sit here and you're either going to suffocate it and keep pushing it right back down and, you know, we don't want to talk about it. No, it's not the I don't want to talk about syndrome anymore. This is why, as an adult, you're angry, you're bitter, you see red, you have PTSD, because you suffocated the feeling. You suffocated how it was. Now you just are here, and now you're conditioned to believe that your emotions are okay. Well, everybody else that's happened and it's okay. Well, who said that? Man said it's okay to have that negative, ugly emotion that they said, oh no, well, this is what, no, it's not okay. That's an old belief pattern. It's the old belief patterns is, tit for tat. That's gone, right? Because the tit for tat turned into two wrongs don't make a right. That's right. So now we have to get to why we want to be that person. Why do we want to be the person who gossips? Why do we want to be that person who wants to tell everybody somebody else's business or somebody else what they said about that person? That's deep. That's really deep. And if you do it to everybody, you have narcissistic tendencies. And that means we need to get that healed. We need to heal that. We need to find out where in this lifetime or in a past life did we have to fabricate or to divulge people's information. Were you a news broadcaster in some where you just need to know everybody's business? Were you some type of, I don't know, literal writer who wanted to, write on everybody's paradigm that was negative? So now you can talk about that? Yeah, I don't know that either. I don't know that. All I can tell you is it's sad. It's really sad that us as human beings, can't balance our egos and our judgments. We as human beings can't talk in a softer side. We as human beings need to learn that when we speak about others, we speak with love, with kindness, and passion. Not saying that you can't talk out things that bother you. But let's face it, the things that bother you that you talk about don't get you in trouble. It's the shit talk of the gossip that gets you in trouble, right? Look at the news broadcasters. Look at the shows that are on podcasts. They get their ass in trouble because of what they say. They get their ass in trouble because their ego and judgment is so high that it's causing them to downfall. Father, Mother, God, I don't care. I always say it. Which Bible you're reading from? 490 versions of the Christian Bible. And then you open it. Thou shalt not judge. So are you really reading the Bible that you're promoting, that you're pushing in people? Thou shalt not judge. So then why are we talking about others? Why are we gossiping and sharing it with multiple people instead of shutting your mouth? It's funny. You really think that there's even families, right? Here's families who keep secrets. And then the other family members are like, what are you talking about? Is that fair? They can justify them, right? Well, we're justifying it because you would have a comment. We could justify it because it was none of your business. We can justify it because even though we're family, you have nothing to do with it. We can justify it because, right? Because. Are you that strong person to say, okay, no big deal. It's your business. It's your path. If you don't want my support, it's okay. Are you the person that's going to say, what the hell? What? I don't count? I'm not part of this family? You're extricating me again? Oh, I'm the black sheep? How many times do you hear that? Right? Poor pity me. I'm the black sheep. Well, poor pity me. Yeah. Well, poor pity me. Maybe your actions or your words proved that they didn't want to tell you. They didn't want to hear what you had to say. Or maybe they just didn't want your protection or what you think that you're protecting. I don't know. But communication has to play out in order for the grandeurs of change to happen. And when we go through lunar eclipse cycles, it is because we have lost our way. All of us at large. We all have lost our way. This is the drop the veils, drop the curtain, see the guy behind the curtain. Oh, pay no mind to him. Yeah, well, you better pay mind to him because he's the mind that is controlling. And right now, you're like a puppet. So do yourself a favor. The act of whatever happened in the event that we have suffocated, we have sabotaged, and we push back down, and it keeps crawling up, and we push it back down. Call out the elephant in the room, folks. Gotta do it. You have to do it. You must do it. You must be able to do that, right? Because when you call out the elephant in the room, things become a little bit more clear, a little bit more in balance. If the person that you're trying to has a lot of ego and a lot of judgment, remind them, you don't need it. You've lost your way, pilgrim. It's okay. We all do. I'm just trying to get a balance. We don't need to be angry. We don't need to be resentful. We don't need to put memes up. And we sure as hell don't need to be the opposite and try to prove how grandiose we are, because that just makes you fall on your face, right? When you try to have your ego, I could do this and I've done this and I, right? how great it is. People are watching. But then your mouth says something different. So your actions say one thing and your mouth says something different. That is dismal. That is the knees hitting the floor again at some point. Because if you did it to one, that means you're going to do it again and again and again. Because nobody has called you out. So if you are that person who are constantly in the mix of talking about others, stop it. You have to stop. You have to understand. You making those claims by universal law are putting it out there. And if it's negative, that means negative things are coming back to you. If you can stay positive and stay in the light, things don't come back to you. They don't. That's why we stay in the light. That's why we stay in a positive consciousness. That's why if something starts to hurt us, we step back and we breathe and we tap and we try to think, how can I get out of this? I smile. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but that's on them. Don't tell me my story. Don't try to guess my story. This is how I have to do it. I have to breathe, I have to smile, and I have to tap. I do. And I have to step back. If I don't step back, I don't know. It's hard. It's hard work. It really is really hard work. But it's work that I'm willing to do. And it's work that you should be willing to do. Why? Because it is the work that's going to keep balance. It's going to keep love. It's going to keep peace. Is it going to be emotional for you? Yes. Did anybody die from shedding a tear? No. People say, oh, you're going to die of a broken heart. Well, if you die of a broken heart, then that's your highest will, mind, power centers stating that you just want to die. Conscious suicide. And then there you go back down into that rabbit hole. So, top of the show, I said, let's sit back and let's think about the last 6 to 7 weeks. How many people have we lost, crossed over? How many marriages? How many talks did we sit down with others that you were just not privy? And it shocked you what came out of their mouth. It shocked you to know that you had friends who betrayed you. It's shocking to know that you ask them and they don't even know why. And there's some people who do know, and they just say, because I wanted to hurt you as much as you hurt me. Wow. And then you have to sit back going, oh my God, how did I hurt you? Right? You did this because I hurt you? Tit for tat? Did I even know that you hurt me? Where's the communication? Where is that change of communication? You have to find it. I agree. Don't talk when you're angry. And there's some things that no matter how you try to talk yourself, and that's when you got to go get help. It's like me. I have the same itch that I have not been able to talk about. It's been 3 months. The same itch. 3 months. MJ, really? 3 months? And why do I do it? Because it's not going to come out properly. It's not going to render anything. So me talking and with the involvement of change of our world and how we see things, haven't you ever noticed? They teach you one thing in college or in school or OJT, and 20, 30 years later, let's talk about babies. I love this one. So babies, they got SIDS because they had them on their back and they swallowed their vomit, and that's why they died. But now we got to turn them on their side. Well, that's no longer good. Then we had to have them on their belly. Then we had to have them on their other side. Then we had to have them halfway cropped. Then we had to, come on. I understand the protection of a child, and you want to do the best. But look how that just one thing has changed. So imagine how the world changes of our old belief patterns, our old belief systems. Right? That change, that's a hard change for anybody, is removing what we have been conditioned I mean, come on, I'm a 60s, 70s baby, right? There was a lot of change that has happened since the 60s to now. A lot of change. In the 60s, you know, I was drinking water out of the garden hose. Now you're going to get Giardia, or you're going to get some other kind of crap parasite. But I'm still here. I'm still kicking. Right? I get it. Population changes that, right? More people, more pollution changes the way that things used to be. So it's back to change, talking about the change, not just walking the talk. We walk it, we talk it, and we do it. We do everything. And I believe in that. I believe that when you're ready, the words will elegantly fly. When you haven't been able to put a positive word in front of somebody's name that has hurt you, and you've tried to do it yourself, I think it's now time you go get help. I think it's now time you reach out. Because if you just sit in it, it's not going to get you anywhere. I told you, I've been in it since the first week of January. There's been something that I've been wanting to say. There has been things that I know if I say it, it's going to cause a ripple effect like no tomorrow. But yet, it doesn't stop that person from trying to highlight points that I was educated in to show that it's wrong. Because today's world says it. Man says it today. But 30 years ago, man had a different story. Just like the babies. Put them on their side, put them on their back, put them on their belly. Right? So now, we have this huge change. Went to school in the 80s. I became a business developer. Well, the business world that I went to school in doesn't even exist today. The fundamentals do. But how to create the business, how the marketing and strategical plannings, and that's changed. We didn't have computers. I mean, come on, let's face it. We went from typewriters with our compositions into Word documents. So we evolve, we change. But do we have the courage to change? That's where it's at. I have to go to break. So we're gonna sit here, we're gonna do another song. You're listening to MJ in the world of conscious positive thinking. And this is mbradio.us. And we are the station where veteran public healing and rehabilitating.
Whatever happened to the brave young soldier? He was a good friend of mine. They say as he died, he never once cried, lying with his brothers there by his side. At 19 years old, he was sent off to war, not really sure what he was fighting for. So he fights for what's behind him and his brothers beside him. Together they'll weather the storm. 9 long months later and he's still alive. Fought several long battles you shouldn't have survived. Then the IED exploded as the ambush unfolded. He laid there bleeding as his brothers all died. Whatever happened to the brave young soldier? He was a good friend of mine. They say as he died, he never once cried, lying with his brothers there by his side. Reinforcements arrived in the nick of time. Old Doc had found him and called in the nightline. He awoke in the hospital. They patched all the holes to bad they couldn't fix the ones in his soul. And 16 years later he locks all the doors, unable to find anything worth living for. His family has left him, he feels society rejects him. With a bottle and a pistol, he falls to the floor. Whatever happened to the brave old veteran? He was a good friend of mine. They say as he died, he sat there and cried, with only his memory sitting there by his side. Brothers and sisters, we can't lose this war. Have we forgotten what the hell we fought for? Pick up the phone, don't knock on the door. 22 too many, we must carry on, fighting these battles until they are won. We know that we walk on the edge of a knife, but one simple call can save a life. Whatever happened to the brave old veteran? He was a good friend of mine.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Well, that was a beautiful new song too. Man, I've been away too long. There's some really beautiful music being played. What a beautiful change. See how that change? There it is, communication and change. So we put out beautiful music, which was a change from our older musics that has such beautiful lyrics to give an insight of just how much some of our first responders and our vets go through, right? Sometimes we talk about, military veterans, but there's veterans. There's veterans in the fire department, the police department, EMTs, paramedics. These beautiful souls. The service to others is always the big people in my heart. Like if I see it, my husband and I constantly, if we go to a restaurant and we see officers or military people eating, we'll pick up the bill. We've done it numerous times and we will continue, because I don't think a lot of people realize, I think they go through life just not understanding why you're free, right? Not understanding why you're safe, not understanding the change that had to happen in order to you to be able to have that freedom, to have those rights. And thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you to all of those out there who are serving and protecting and allowing us to have that freedom. That's big for me. And it's big to a lot of people here on this station. So thank you for that song. That was a beautiful song. So we're talking about our newest, our year of change. And you do realize that 2025, just the numerology of that is a 9. 9 is the end of all, right? Then the end that has to come to fruition. And we started this whole thing by talking about that change, communication of change, how we speak to others, how are we going to balance this change? And we have to. We cannot sit and just suppress it. We can't keep pushing it and pushing it and pushing it lower, because what happens is, boom, like we talked about, it's like right here and it's choking you. It's now making you emotional, or it's making you angry. It's giving you a lot of these emotional dilemmas that are not conscious positive. These are shadow side effects that makes us unhappy, that makes us just miserable. And it hurts our soul. It hurts our heart. It hurts our being. And it's just, I don't know. It's one of those, it is this time in life where we all have to pretend that we are warriors, and we have to stand firm in our boundaries, and we have to find that courage. I don't care if it's tapping. Tapping is the easiest thing to me. I just breathe and I step back and I try to use the most conscious, positive words I can to say, you hurt me. You hurt me. Those words hurt. I understand they were my words, but they were my words in order to be spoken. They were my words to be telling my story. They were my words in order for me to heal, not to be used against me. Remember that. Remember that when you're speaking to somebody and they want to speak to others about whatever it is that you're speaking, they want you to be in pain unconsciously. There is an unconsciousness that they want you to be in the same pain that they're in. Because I cannot believe the people who do and speak like that are all evil, are all lower vibrations, or all dark. Majority of them are. The majority are that want to dwarf your free will or make you miserable or make you unhappy. They're very low vibrational people. They're very dark people. And if that is the energy in which you source, then that's the energy you source if you like it. If you don't like it, then you proclaim your truths. You proclaim your communications. You proclaim those truths that hurt, right? Man's going to change everything, right? They say in man, everything recycles every 20 years. Music, fashion, whatever. I say man goes through energetic cycles of either loving the earth or hating the earth. That's how I see it. Because to attack man is attacking Pachamama. It's attacking Gaia. It's attacking Mother Earth. It's all the same thing. We are all one. And when we start realizing that we are all one and that your actions and your words are making the all one unbalanced, Father, forgive them for they have lost their way. Father, forgive me for my part. It's always a forgiveness. It's always a forgive and forget. You can't forgive and then throw it back. You can't accept the forgiveness and throw it back. You're not healed if that's the case. So having the communication and change means that you have to do it too. So if you're the catalyst for somebody else to bring forth, I was. We all are. We all signed up to do catalyst work. We all signed up to be on a path. And we all have to go through this life figuring out that path, right? Is it our life purpose or our soul purpose? That was like episode number 1, especially for those in the military or service to others. Is this truly our path, or did we have to feel this in order for us to do what we do today? Right? What I found inside of my Reverend of Light into my spiritual world, into a multi-denominational Reverend, I find that it is a hard time for all of us to have a reminder that life goes quickly, affirming, validating, and loving. And understand some of us who are going through harder times than others. It is just an open heart of balance of love and forgiveness. As hard as it might be to spit those words out to some that really hurt you, it's time. It's time to forgive. It's time to forget, because in this year, 2025, and the energetic cycles that we are in, communication is key. And don't just go around apologizing if you don't mean it, because that'll even be a worse karma. Don't do it. Find a way. Find a way that you can go out and you can spread your word, that you can go out and you can be the voice of positive. You can be a voice of a higher wisdom. You can be a voice of a higher balance of communication, of understanding. But if we can't open up our mind power centers of love and order and understanding and will and zeal and faith and power and strength, elimination, life, these are all our mind power centers. These are what a lot of people forget. Major studies on mind power centers. That's why I love that divine gifted me, that rewiring Reiki. I love to do that. I love to rewire the brain with the chakras, right? The mind power centers to the chakras allows us to move forward. It allows us a path to follow that is a conscious positive. Why? Because what it's doing is it's removing all of the other emotional blockages that we have to flip. Because man's taught us these old belief patterns. Well, they were the belief patterns of the time because they had to survive. We all have to survive. We all have to survive, our due. We all of us. We have to survive it, and in order to survive it, we have to follow the rest of the community, or so they say, right? Man, right? And how do we do that? Well, because you're in the era or the time, right? You are also conditioned by your locality. So you have your area that you live, your locality. Then you have your boroughs, your communities. Then you have your counties, and then you have your regions, and then of course, then you end up having your states, and then from states you have your nationals, and from nationals then you have your regions, and it just keeps climbing to the government, to then the world. So you have all these rules and regulations all filtering down into that new baby that was just born, and how that baby is going to proceed in life. That's a lot. That's a lot. And it now plays time for us to turn that chapter and just forgive. Pull these emotions, and we suppress them where? Right here. I'm going to go all the way back. Right here in this beautiful thing people call the breadbasket. It's actually called your solar plexus. And below that then would be the sacral. Those two chakra centers hold so much trauma and hold so many of our life events that we suppress. For an energist to look at somebody's body, they would see like hazing. They would see dark spots. They would see that there was trauma, there was events. That's how some of your healers are able to assist in removing some of those events for us. That way it kind of opens up the path a little bit better, because sometimes we harbor all these other changes and we don't communicate them. They just stack and they stack and they stack and they stack. And then before you know it, you're up over your head and there's the dominoes, and we just push you back and you fall and collapse on your knees. And that's how it works. Because you didn't move with the change. Computers, I'll be the first one to tell you, I didn't move with them. I don't like them. I think they're good for people in certain jobs. But in my job, I have a hard time. I even have a hard time doing this with computers because my mind doesn't want to think that way. My mind only wants to think about complete world balance and complete world trust and complete just making peace and allowing people to be in peace. So for me, I get caught up with the computer stuff. I get caught up with this, like the technologies, because I don't think the technologies are going to heal me. What I think is going to heal me is my own Savior, my own grace, my own faith, my own Father, Mother, God. The light within me is going to save me, not the computers. But there's a flip pattern on that, MJ, isn't there? So we talk to ourselves. Where's that flip? That flip pattern is, not only am I talking about my own flip patterns to help you understand how to flip them, I might be helping somebody else. And this is by computers, MJ. This is how we talk ourselves, going, wait, flip the pattern. Flip it. I need to do this. Why? Because somebody else could energetically be going through this change. And if you're going through this change, then I don't know what. You have to be able to go through this change with everybody. It's tough. It's tough. It is tough. Communication is key. Communication and tapping out that darn ego that wants to yell and be dismal and wants to be vile and wants to like get angry. Oh, I'll show them. How many comes out of everybody's mouth? Oh, yeah? Oh, I'll show you. Right? You're messing with the wrong person. These are words that are not justifiable. These are words that attack. These are words of anger. These are words that are not going to help you. The words are, oh my gosh, Is that really how they saw that? Wow. I didn't mean it like that. Or, dang, I didn't realize that if I said it, it was going to carry that much weight. That hurts too, right? That's another, ooh, that's a biggie. How our words render, how our words play out. It all creates that. So, we don't want that anymore. We're going to change that. We're going to change how we feel, how we think, and how we say. Because it's those three things that create the free will to change, right? We're not going to go to somebody going, what the hell? I know what you said. And then that face and the body language starts curling up. I know what you freaking said. You said exactly what I said. Why did you do that? Now, these are the angers that you want in closed doors. You want these in closed doors. You want to ask yourself, why do you think they did what they did? How can we back out? Well, the bottom line is you're angry because you said it. And what you said, you really didn't want to go back to that other person. And it did. And now you want to blame the person that you trusted with those words. You want to go back and you want to be angry that they did that to you. No, boo-boo. It's on you, boo-boo cakes. It's on you. It is so on you because it came out of here. Do you understand? If it's going to come out of your mouth, it's going to be universal. Every and anything. There are no skeletons undone. That's not. You want to lie, you want to cheat, you want to steal, you want to be dishonest, you want to have a known fact that it's a knowing mistake and you want to cover it up. These are all things of skeletons that lie in our breadbasket or our solar plexus or our sacral that we suppress, that come into fruition, that break us down into our little old self. And now we are going back to depressions, anxieties, sadness, suicides, because we couldn't communicate in a proper fashion. We couldn't communicate with those that trespassed against us. We didn't know how to communicate that. So I always tell somebody, if somebody is trying to communicate and they don't have the vocabulary, honor what they do know and honor what they are trying to say. I understand trying is not one of those words, right? It's one of those 10 words I said to take out. I know. But for an unhealed person, maybe they're doing their best that they can at the moment, right? Because when we do the best at the moment, then a lot of things will change. And if it doesn't change, now we're rolling down into the rabbit hole and we desperately need some help. You need to reach out. You need to find a counselor to help you flip these patterns, because you cannot be the person going around and spewing. And if that's the case, you are miserable. You are miserable in your own life, whether it be because of prosperity reasons, whether it be relationship reasons, whether it be, you got a hangnail, I don't know, whatever demise that you're going through to be such a mean person. Why don't you think about saying, I'm sorry, please forgive me. Please forgive my part, right? Sometimes that'll work in favor instead of not, right? You want things in your favor, because when things are in your favor and you can open your heart into that love and light of divine light, everything goes smoothly. Everything is peaceful. Prosperity renders, abundance renders, and everything. I don't look at being wealthy as far as money. I look at being wealthy as my health, as my mental acuities. I am so wealthy when I see that. So wealthy. It is an incredible thing. And I pray that these flip patterns can understand the energies that came around. These energies that source, that are so hard for the humans to get out of their way. Why? Conditioned egos, conditioned judgment patterns of old belief systems, right? We don't go around because somebody hurt us or talked about us. We don't go and we try to find an army of people to attack. That's wrong. That's wrong. This is not what we do. We don't create an army to hit on one person. It's wrong. If you're not in the army and you're doing that as just everyday stuff, and you're making podcasts and you're doing stuff to talk and having that negative relationship as a balance and talking and gossiping, you're not a warrior. That's not a Templar. That's not a soldier. That's not service to others. That is service to self, and it's ugly. And it's demyelinating actually for you, because sooner or later, all those people who you think that are your acquaintance or your circle, what is that show, The Faulkners? The Circle of Trust? That circle of trust, man. That circle of trust is beyond, right? Because of you, because of what you said, because of how you said it, because you said it with anger, you said it with prejudice, you said it with ill just. Well, when we do these things, right? The only way for people to not understand how that domino is going to make you go to that rabbit hole, you got to live it. You got to live it. If you've been in that rabbit hole more than once, God help you. God help you. Hi, Ferran Dozier. He has the Ferran Dozier Show. He's on Sunday nights. He is a sickle cell supporter. He is a beautiful, please, everybody, if you don't.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great space.
Yes, and that would be the other guy. No, it's not your bad. Look at Good Morning MJ, and that was the beautiful voice of Kent and Fairway Travels sponsors and BR. So such a beautiful thing. Thank you, Joel, for a reminder, and thank you, Ken, for popping in for that. And Fairway Travels in November, if you are a veteran, our beautiful Red, who is also known as Kent Skelton, he is on Fairway Travels, is organizing in November a beautiful cruise for veterans and those who are service to others, such as our first responders. So if you're interested, reach out.
When we went on commercial, I was getting ready to play that, and that's the reason why it came up. I'm so sorry, MJ. My bad.
No, I love it. I've been gone. So I happened to see that. And when I saw Ken, I really, really, really wanted to bring it up. And I can't go, but it is going to be such a phenomenal time. And I heard rumor that if we can get the Starlinks going, then we will have military broadcasts on that ship of our DJs right there. And how fun is that? And I'm so sorry, Ken, that I've been missing this, but I'm just excited for everybody. There's my Zeal, right? There's the Zeal Center. I'm so happy. And I really am so happy for all of you to be able to do this. And Janet, I understand. Yes, there's a lot of Democrats doing all of the yelling, should be listening to you. Well, I don't know if they should be listening because I'm not going to get into politics. But I do believe that when change happens, it doesn't matter if you are left or on the right. You have to learn to balance yourself. Going so far one way or another is unhealthy. It's not only unhealthy for you, it's unhealthy for all of those around you. And that's what I'm going to say about that. Change happens, and people, unfortunately, are in that bracket. You know, here's this whole thing, and then all of a sudden, here's this change, and this little piece of pie, it might affect. But in the overall, it'll balance. In the overall, and I'm sorry, but it's true. Like when you have just a slender of people, and it may be 1 million, and people are like, MJ, 1 million is a lot of people. I understand that 1 million is a lot of people, but so is 100 million, right? So 1 million out of 100 million, you kind of have to, make that decision. And you hope that decision is so well balanced that we can pick up our brothers and sisters, that 1 million who did get hurt, and we can lift them up somehow. Don't talk about politics. Ask why they're depressed, and then ask them how we can help lift them. What do they need? right? That would be a little bit better. Yes, I do believe that, Ken. You are going to have a really good time. And I have to go to commercial yet again. And this is really another great place where people can go. MB Radio, look at your DJs, look at your shows, because every single one has a different perspective of how to heal that which, is in us and what we have had to go through. So give us a minute. Hear my birds. We'll be right back. I'm MJ.
It's time for a Vacation and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive, luxury-included, adults-only resorts. Or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get Thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
There he was. That's our red skeleton. I love him. And that is Fairway Travels. So you don't have to be a veteran, but he is veteran owned. And we are here to support him and his adventure and his journey. So if you're looking for a cruise, reach out to Red and Fairway Travels, and you can have a cruise of a lifetime. It's always fun. So let's get back to the change, get back to what we were talking about. What's he say? Anyone
and everyone is invited. Great way to show support for our favorite host. Yeah, because on the boat we'll be doing podcasts throughout the week. So
nice. That is so beautiful. I'm so excited for you all. I'm so sorry I cannot go. Really, Red, I am. Leave it right there. So
I think it's so funny. I just got my passport and my wife did it at the same time, and she hasn't got hers yet. So we've got to call them.
The passports. Yeah, call them. I mean, you have a few months, so everything will work out the way it's supposed to. Divinely work out, Jewel. It will. Or H train. I'm sorry. You have your hat on. No. First this man comes in with a weave. There it is. Okay, I just want to show the people. Just 1 second. There's my boy. So, come on. You have to have laughter, right? There's the other thing. If you are not smiling and happy and at peace, what are you doing? If that job or that relationship does not make you happy, smiling, and at peace, reevaluate. This is the time. This is the energetic cycle. That is the guy behind the curtain. Who is it? Why? Why is this happening? Talk, communicate with your partner. Things that you're just, how many, and I know, I'm not even going to ask for hands. Well, no, I do. Anybody put the hand up. If you're on right now, you can put the hand up if you think that your relationship has communicational issues. If I don't see everybody's hand up right now, I don't know. Because we all do. It's a human practice. Well, we just won't say something just because we know that'll make that one angry. Here we are, right? We're not going to bring it up because it's a sore subject. Now ask yourself, was the subject talked about and not balanced and not healed? Was it a yell match back and forth to one another? Here we go. We're going to yell at each other, right? It could be. Exactly. Thank you, Ken. So we all have them. There isn't one relationship that doesn't have some type of change that communication is at fault. It really is. If we don't communicate to our partner, okay, you always say, they know how to read me. They know what bull. right? The only person who could read your mind is you. I don't even care if you tell me there's a best psychic in the world. You are your best psychic in the world. You know how you feel. And if you are not happy and you are not full of love and peace, and you get near people, and especially that you have a relationship with, it's time to open up and communicate. I never said that you can't have time to think about it. And I never said, don't go back and say, MJ said, don't talk until you're ready. I don't say it like that. I say, get your words in place. Get your statement in place. Be ready for that feedback. Be ready for the pushback, and be ready to conquer your ego and your judgment, because you're making a push. You're making a stance, and change is hard on everybody. And I don't care. We talked about a lot of different changes, right? They're happening. But if we cannot open up our heart and listen without using this, we can't use this. Use this, right? Listen to what the person is saying. Hopefully, they would give you the same respect. And you can tell them, please, I really need to get this out. If you would just give me a minute to get this out, maybe you can understand my position. You can understand my awakening. You can understand where I am at this moment. And then you get into it. If it's something of your actions that you did, then you apologize for your part of those actions. And if you understand why the person is being vocal or being callous or treating you with ill respect or saying things about you, then it's time then to understand who you get to talk to and who you don't get to talk to. You already know the flaw in the plan. So you apologize to tell them that you put so much pressure on them for making them have to speak your words to other people. Right? Why don't they speak their own words? Unhealed. Why do they do that? Unhealed. Trauma. So when people go through trauma, then that's what they do. They start agging all these people up around you. Just like a military person going to combat. They build their bridge. They build their army. Red Rover, send whoever you want over, right? Because now you have your team. Is that really fair? You have a team and there's one person coming in. Is that fair? That's pretty shitty. I'll tell you that. You don't have the issues with everybody. So why did you just make an issue for one person and bring all these other people to save your poor soul? Your poor soul who has caused the agitation. So now you embellish and you twist things around so they fit. That is this person. That is the person causing the issue. Because they're not healed. So if they're not healed, we have to understand that. And you're like, MJ, no, yes, no, you do. If you have an unhealed person, no matter what you say, what was Janet's comment about the Democrats? It doesn't matter what you say, they're not going to listen. They are it's like a PTSD, seeing red, or anger people when they see red. Unless they have their trigger list ready to come out of that red, you are not bringing them out of that red. You're not. That's all they see. They're angry because they're unhealed. Right. Same thing. Communication is key to any change of life. You're in the year of change. You are just in a full alignment. That only happens how many years? Some of us won't even be alive. In fact, I don't think any of us will be alive when a full lunar eclipse comes again. I think it was 1985. So I guarantee I probably will not be alive. It's another 50 years from now, right? So a majority of us won't see it ever again. But it was here for this generation, no matter where you lie, whether you're in the baby boomers or you're back into the newborns, right? Whatever you are in, this was your chance to do it. So do it. Don't sit there and just listen. Make the change. Make the communication of that change. Please, I promise. If you can just open up and speak with love and kindness and not having that angry mode where you're going to squint your eyes and you're going to punch out your lips and you're going to be in this temper. No, that's not going to work. Because anybody's human conditional pattern is going to back off of you. They're going to push you back because now you're yelling. Think about that. Why do we yell? MJ, why do we yell? Ask yourself. I ask myself all the time. People think I'm crazy. I talk to myself. But you know what? My higher self knows more than I do in this physical life. So I need that higher self. Oh, some people say, oh, I have an angel here and I have a devil here. And they talk in my ear. However you say it. But you got to talk it through. There's no other way out. You have to communicate. You have to get the words out. And the more that you heal that and the more that we get everything that we have suppressed, those skeletons out, is the lighter and the more balanced that we feel. And for then, when people are so angry and they're still doing the memes and they're still talking crap and they're still on the fuckery plan, guess what? You're over here smiling going, really? And I did what? That was so bad. What did I do that was so bad? What did we do that we didn't talk about? Show me my ways, my directions that aren't right. Because when you can show me that, then we can make a change. We can balance it. But if you can't do it, or you say things without an apology, it becomes a little bit harder. And then you just hope and pray that that person that you trespassed against can find it in their own heart just to let it go. Balance it. We call it throwing the Reiki ball, right? We throw it. Archangel Michael, come in and sever this. Just balance it with love. So if I ever see this person again, all I have to do is smile and say hello. Because that is the courteous human thing to do, right? You smile and you say hello. No matter what. Good morning, Janie. I just saw you there. Good morning to you, sweetheart. So, yeah, that is communication of change. And I've showed you now the person who has to accept somebody, the person who's saying it, and also the energetic pattern that we all have to go through. Don't waste this opportunity. Like, again, 50 years, you're going to have to go through this again. So if you're still here in 50 years, you're going to have another opportunity, but most of us won't be around for that. So make that change. Make the change that it's allowing you to do right now, because it is the finales and it's the beginnings, and this is this energy, and we're almost out of it. And we have until I think April 4th. So use it, utilize that beautiful voice that God gave us all. Utilize it to bring out those skeletons with beauty, peacefulness, calm, saying this really hurt me. Show that compassion. Show that humanitarian side of yourself. It's okay. You can do it. You don't have to be that ugly hard ass that, people aren't going to push me around attitude. Who wants that? I don't want that. Who would want that? I don't know anybody who would want that. Is there a time and a place for that? Absolutely. Absolutely. For all those who serve, there is a time and a place. We all know that time and place. It is a flight or fight. We've been in it. Especially as militaries, especially as our warriors, especially as first responders. We've been in flight or fight modes. All too many times. All too many times it hurts. All too many times it renders us with the emotion of sadness, depression, anger, resentment. All too many times we don't talk about it. All too many times we don't communicate to open up. You have people who love you dearly, your wives, your husbands, your mother, your father, your children, your best friend. For all those acquaintances around you and all those other friends, pay caution to the wind. Is it a time and a season? Or is it a beginning of a new tribe? I don't know which one. You're going to have to be that who understands, right? So I hope again, I've been saying that word a lot, hope. There's a lot of hope going on. there's the will. I pray that your will is so strong and your faith is so strong that you can communicate openly with no bias, no prejudice, no judgment, no ego involved. Tap if you have to. Let people know when something hurts. Let people know when things aren't right. Let people know that you can't do this anymore. It's not for you at all. That's what I want to say. So I'm going to go out. We're going to do one of the last songs. It's called To a Hero. It's by Dallas Alexander. I want you to be that hero. I want you all to be the hero of you. I want you all to listen to this song, because at the end it's going to close out, and then we're going to have to do the other stuff. But I want you to listen to it because it means the world. And it's going to mean the world to you when you listen to his words. Dallas Alexander, thank you for this song, To a Hero. You be that hero for you and for others. You start communicating with love, peace, and joy. And if you can't, write down there, the world of conscious positive thinking at mbradio.us. Email me. You got this. Thank you for listening. I promise I will be back. I promise this time I really will be back. And tonight, go on to Beyond the Headlines, because on Beyond the Headlines, it's going to be Terry and myself. I don't know if Miss Kristen is back, but we will be here tonight, Beyond the Headlines, flipping the patterns of some of the headline news today that might make people upset. And there will be the three of us. It's at 7 o'clock right here on StreamYard, on MB Radio. It's also on Roku, YouTube. You know where to go. Many, many blessings. May the angels carry you with peace, love, grace, joy, happiness, and abundance of what it is that you desire most.
To a hero, I say, I hope to see you again on some sunny day. And to a hero, and the love you left behind, I'll try my best to pass it on till the end of my time. And to a hero, you're gone, but I have no doubt that you have made it home. And to a hero taken way too soon, over there in that dusty country, an Afghan afternoon. To a hero and the little one you left behind, I hope he grows up with your passion, I'm sure he will with time. And to a hero, a warrior through and through, you were taken way too early, what can we do? Well, we can try to keep your spirits alive, we can try to be nice, we can not take for granted all the beautiful things in our lives. We can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for our heroes. This is what we can do. To all the heroes taken from our lives, at home or in those countries, fighting for what's right. Now we can do this for you and all your kin, and make this world a better place for your kids to grow up in. And we can try to be true, admit when we don't have a clue, and be there with the ones we love until our time is good and through. And we can be the change we want to see, and we can listen to the wind pass through the trees. We can speak the words we know are true for I hope to see you again on some sunny day. All right, to a hero.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.